What's up everyone, it's your guy Q out here, and today we're gonna share a spray solution that upon application will lay the pest to rest. There's many different spray solutions that you can apply, but they all have a caveat or condition upon which you have to meet before you actually spray it. So let's get into it. Most spray solutions are most effective when sprayed in the evening after direct sunlight or on overcast days when the pests are most active. And believe it or not, the best time to spray is right after a heavy rainfall. This might sound crazy. Whenever it rains heavily, the bugs will typically seek shelter from the heavily infiltrating soil down below, and they'll climb up the stems of the plant. And not only that, they'll kind of huddle somewhat closer together when they're actually trying to stay protected, giving you the optimal targets to actually spray. So y'all, this spray is no different from those that require timing for the most effectiveness. But the best part about this spray, Pyganic, is the fact that it's organic, it's OMRI listed, and it only has a 12-hour REI, which means restricted entry interval. And that means that once you spray it, just kind of stay away from the area for 12 hours. And that being said, it's still not going to cause you any major harm or any harm period. If you're in the area within that 12-hour window, might cause a little skin irritation, whatever, but just spray it and then stay away from it for 12 hours. And one of the best things about this spray is it can actually be sprayed all the way up to the hour before harvest. Yes, the hour before harvest. It comes from pyrethrins, which are plant extracted bug toxins essentially, and it's some great stuff. So some of the 100 species of insects that Pyganic actually targets are aphids, whiteflies, ants, thrips, fruit flies, scale, beetles. That's just scratching the surface right there. But like I said, it covers 100+ bug varieties that are actually out there to plague your garden. One thing that I will say about this Pyganic though is you want to be sure that you spray this only in the evening times or after heavy rains, because that's when the bee activity is going to be actually the lowest, and you're going to have a really good opportunity to avoid harming any passerbys in the form of bees, because like I said, it has a 12-hour re-entry, and that's mostly for the beneficial insects actually. And if you spray this in the evening time past the time of direct sunlight, it'll give you plenty of time to where the bees can come that following morning to make sure that they do their job diligently. So before we talk about the application rate real quick, I wanted to show you this nifty little shot glass that I have here. And it's not a shot glass for taking shots, but it actually has your different measurements on it, your tablespoons, your teaspoons, your ounces, your milliliters. You know, it has all your standard measurements on it. And that's what we're gonna be using today to actually show you the measurement of what we're gonna be applying, which is the Pyganic. And I also wanted to show you this Jadam wetting agent. And honestly, this is just an alternate form of using dish soap or using another surfactant, which helps water spread and actually coat the leaves when you're applying a foliar spray of any kind. So now that we've talked about our measurement for application, we're gonna talk about the application rate for this particular product, which is Pyganic. And the application rate is 1, 2, or 3 tablespoons per gallon, 1 being a weak application, 2 being a moderate application, and 3 tablespoons being a strong application. And today we're gonna be applying a moderate application because we do see some spider mites and aphids on the plants today. And I'm gonna give y'all a close-up look at that real quick. So first off, it's really hard to focus, but I wanted to give y'all a look at what the aphids look like on a leaf. And yes, there is a mixture of spider mites and aphids on those leaves. And you can see the spider mites with the red, and the aphids are kind of the clear bug that you see in the frame. And I don't know if you can see them really well, but here's another close-up look at the aphids. You can kind of see some on this stem right here, and you can also see some along the main stem here. They're very small, so I'm doing the best I can to get a close-up. So our objective for today is to get a complete coverage application on all of the plants in the garden. We're gonna definitely target the spot that we saw the aphids and the spider mites over there harder than the rest of the garden, but we're also not gonna discriminate on anything else so we can get a really good coverage perspective for our spray application that we're gonna be putting down on today. First, before we actually spray our application, we have to mix up our spray. So let's show y'all how we go about doing that before we actually spray our application. So if you look closely, as you can see here, in fact, I'll show you, the water's at the 1 gallon line, And if you look close, you can see the water move around a little bit. But I just wanted to make sure that we're at 1 gallon so that we can actually make sure that our application rate is correct and exactly where we need it to be. We're gonna add our Pyganic into our shot glass there. And we're gonna go ahead and add 2 tablespoons per gallon, since we're doing a moderate application like we said earlier. So 2 tablespoons. So there's 2 tablespoons of the Pyganic. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in. And now we're gonna add our Jadam wetting agent. We're gonna add 1 fluid ounce of this. There's our ounce of that. So now all you do is just put this back in here like this. Screw your top back on, and then shake, 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 shake. Make sure that it's all nice and mixed up. That should be good enough. You wanna go ahead and get it pressured up. So one last thing I wanted to show y'all before we got to spraying is check out this sky. Y'all see that beautiful overcast sky? That was one of the conditions we were talking about. It's been overcast all day. We're about to get the spray. One thing that you want to be sure of when you're spraying is that your spray device, whether it be pump action or it's more of an automatic sprayer, is that it has the capability to make whatever you are spraying aerosolize. This means that the nozzle on the spray device is able to adjust where the liquid solution exits the device in such a way that it turns the liquid into somewhat of a vapor. This is a large part of why pretty much anything you spray, whether it be organic or inorganic, if aerosolized, has at the very least a 12-hour re-entry interval. The mist that's left behind in the surrounding air can potentially cause harm if you just hang around after the fact. And that applies to pretty much anything that you aerosolize into the air. The big reason why it needs to be able to be made into vapor is so that the coverage has the ability to meet maximum range expectations. We need to be able to get the pests in all the cracks and crevices, and this makes us be able to do just that. One more thing to consider when spraying is the period of effectiveness of what you're actually spraying, because that has a huge impact on the spray actually being effective. Some products last for mere hours, while other products can last for days, if not longer.